we are going to study abiotic agent. In abiotic agent, first we are going to study anemophily. Anemophily. This question can be asked for 2 mark. This anemophily means, anemon means wind. Means when the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma, or the pollination when takes place through wind, that is called as anemophily, while anemon means wind. Okay, so what is the definition for anemophily? When the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma takes place through wind, that is called as anemophily. Now, what type of adaptations are there in anemophilous flower, or what are the characteristics of anemophilous flower? First, here the flowers are very small and they are inconspicuous. Inconspicuous means they do not have color, means they are colorless, without nectar, and they do not have fragrance. No sweet smell is there. So here the flowers are very small because they have to carry along with the wind. So nature had made them very small. Wind is not concerned with the color, odor and nectar and fragrance. So here the flowers are inconspicuous, means the flowers are very small and they are without color, without bright color, without nectar and without fragrance. Second, here the pollen grains are light in weight because they have to roll on along with the wind. They are dry. They are smooth walled because if spiny nature is there, there is the chances that they can stuck anywhere. So here the nature had made pollen grains smooth walled and they are produced in large numbers because they have to fly over. That's why nature had made them large in number. Next, the stigma. Here the stigma is feathery or hairy. Why? So when the pollen grains are flying, as the stigma is feathery or hairy in nature, they trap the pollen grain. Example here, maize or rice. So here we have studied anemophily. Anemophily means when the pollination takes place through wind is called as anemophily. Here what type of flowers are present? Here the flowers are very small and inconspicuous. Very small because they have to carry along with the wind, and they are inconspicuous means wind is not concerned with bright color, fragrance and nectar. So here the flowers are without color, nectar and fragrance. Here the pollen grains are very light in weight, they are dry and they are smooth walled and they are produced in large numbers. And here the stigma is feathery. Why? In order to trap the pollen grain. Examples are maize and rice. Now next type of agents of pollination is hydrophily. Now hydro means water. Hydrophily means it is the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma, or when the pollination takes place through water. Because hydro means water. When the pollination takes place through water, then it is called as hydrophily. Now what type of adaptations are there by hydrophilous flower? First is, here in hydrophilous flower, the flowers are very small and inconspicuous. Again, they are small means they have to float on the water. They are inconspicuous means water is not concerned with the color, fragrance and nectar. So here the nature had made flower very small, and inconspicuous means they are colorless. Here the flowers are without nectar and the flowers are without fragrance. Now what about pollen grains? Pollen grains are long and they are unwettable due to the presence of mucilage. One mucilaginous covering is there, sticky covering is there, which avoid the rotting of the pollen grain. And what about stigma? Stigma is sticky in nature. Sticky in nature means again it is covered by mucilaginous covering in order to avoid the rotting of stigma. So hydrophily means it is the transfer of pollen grain or the pollination takes place through the water. That is called as hydrophily. Here adaptation, what type of adaptations are taken place by the flower? Here the flower is small because it has to float on the surface of the water. Here the flowers are inconspicuous because the water is not concerned with the color, nectar and fragrance. Here the pollen grains are long and they are unwettable because of the covering of mucilage, and stigma is also covered by the mucilaginous covering. That's why stigma is sticky in nature, so that easily it can trap the pollen grain. This hydrophily is again of two type. One is called as hypohydrophily, another one is called as epihydrophily. At present you have to keep in mind, hypo means below. Here the pollination is taking place, below the surface of water. And epihydrophily means here the pollination is taking place on the surface of water. So hydrophily means here the transfer of pollen grain from anther to stigma takes place through water. That's why it is called as hydrophily. Here different types of adaptations are there. Here the flowers are small and inconspicuous. Inconspicuous means they are without bright color, without nectar and without fragrance. Here pollen grains are long and they are unwettable due to the presence of mucilage, and the stigma is sticky in nature. Hydrophily is of two type. One is called as hypohydrophily, another one is called as epihydrophily. So now first is hypohydrophily, where hypo means below. Why the term is given hypohydrophily? Because here the pollination takes place below the surface of water. Here the pollen grains are heavier than water. That's why they sink down and they are caught by the stigma of the female flower. Female plant is submerged only. It is under the water because here the pollination is taking place under the water. So female plant is under the water. It is submerged. What happens with the pollen grain? That plant is also submerged. But the pollen grains, as they are heavier than water, they never come up or on the surface of the water. They sink down and they are easily caught by the stigma of the female flower. One example, Zostera you can take. In seagrass this type of pollination takes place. Now epihydrophily. In epihydrophily, epi means above. What happens here? The pollination takes place on the surface of water. That's why it is called as epihydrophily. Here what happens? The pollen grains are lighter than water. Hence, whenever they are released, they float on the surface of water. While here what happens in hypohydrophily, pollination takes place below the surface of water. In epihydrophily, pollination takes place on the surface of water. In hypohydrophily, pollen grains are heavier. That's why they sink down and they are caught by the stigma of the female flower and the pollination takes place. While in case of epihydrophily, the pollen grains are lighter in weight. Hence, when they are released, they float on the surface of water. And the female plant is submerged under the water. But what happens here? Just imagine that pollen grains are lighter and they are just floating on the surface of water, but the female plant is submerged. But the nature had modification nature had given, its pedicel. Pedicel means the stalk of the flower is very long, but it is highly coiled. And once the flower get mature, as soon as the flower get mature, the pedicel uncoils. The pedicel uncoils and it reaches the surface of the water where the pollen grains are present, where the pollen grains are floating. Now just imagine, pedicel uncoils and pedicel brings the stigma up, and the pollen grains are floating on the surface of the water, pollen grain naturally comes in contact with the stigma and pollination takes place. What happens in hypohydrophily? Pollination takes place below the surface of water. As the pollen grains are heavier, they sink down and they easily comes in contact with the stigma of the female flower. But the case is different in case of epihydrophily. Here the pollination takes place on the surface of water. Here, as the pollen grains are lighter in weight, when they get released, they start floating on the surface of water. But what is the adverse condition over here? Female plant is submerged. But what facility nature had given? Its pedicel is too long and it is highly coiled. Once the flower get mature, as soon as the flower gets mature, the pedicel uncoils and it reaches up to the surface of the water where the pollen grains are floating. Naturally, the pollen grain comes in contact with the stigma and the pollination takes place. So this is epihydrophily, which generally takes place in Vallisneria.